Hello, YouTube. Welcome again to Ron's Real Talk. Today we're going a little bit early. We're going right now instead of at 3 o'clock. So in just a few minutes, I'm going to turn it over to Ron. And hello to you, TikTok. I see you're looking at me too. So just stand by and we'll be ready for you in a second. And now, here's Ron.
Well, good morning, everybody. Good afternoon, wherever you happen to be. This is Ron with your source for inspiration with Soar High Personal Development. So today, we're going to talk about a subject that probably everybody has something to say about.
I think so.
Relationships.
Yeah.
The good, the bad,
and the ugly. That's right.
So you know what? We can take any one of those items and we could probably spend the whole podcast. We'll try to break it down a little bit today.
Okay.
Why is it that so many people are having trouble getting out of a bad relationship? Why do you think so, Keith?
There's a lot of reasons, isn't there? There's
Give me one.
Financial. It's a big one.
How about sex?
Oh, definitely sex. Sex is an addiction all by itself.
That was a divorce lawyer. He told me the two top reasons for divorce was sex and money.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
That?
Yeah.
People don't want to talk about these
Sounds
things.
like Vegas.
It's our personal development. We get it all on the table.
That's right.
We're not messing around.
That's right.
Like that. I know some people aren't going to be happy with what we're going to say, but you know what? We want to tell the truth.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's ins, outs, and all arounds with some of the subject we talk about here. And you can talk. You can have different takes on what we're saying.
Sure.
But the reality is that most relationships fail. Now the question is, why do they fail?
Right.
Well, sex, money.
Yeah.
People can't get along. People grow at different rates. Have you noticed that?
They do. That's huge. Yeah.
And particularly the longer you're with somebody. We're going to talk about other kinds of relationships too, like not just romantic, but just friendships.
Sure.
How about relationships based? How about like parents, children, neighbors? It doesn't have to be just like romantic relationship. I'm not just talking.
Well, yeah, no. Parents, children, cousins.
Relationships in general.
Your butcher. Yeah.
Well, I don't know about that. I think those days are kind of gone when you go to a store. Do they even still have butchers?
That's a good question. That's another podcast.
When I was coming along, I was in the walk-in cooler and freezer business. And I sold a cooler to a guy in Springfield, Missouri. It's called the Harder House.
Okay.
Very successful company.
Okay.
But at the time, it was just a little bitty hole in the wall.
All right.
And these guys were butchers.
Uh-huh.
And you'd walk in there, and I mean, they would like cut the meat up right there for you the way you wanted. And they went from a little bitty hole in the wall to a chain of stores. This is like 50 years later.
Oh my!
Yeah, the original founders had passed away, but the family still runs the company.
Uh-huh.
So how about that?
This
goes to prove what?
Persistence.
Well, persistence and quality.
Oh, okay.
Of the way you treat your client.
I agree with that. Yeah.
Right or wrong?
Well, it is right, and we're kind of diving off here, but
service, you can't hardly get it anymore.
The relationship between a customer and a business is almost non-existent now. It's
unfortunate.
It's
at Same Day Service, which is my parent company, we're in the home repair business. Every single day, I take pride in calling every single customer.
I know you do.
From the day before, for two reasons. One, I want to make sure the work is still okay, and two, I want to thank the client. I've done that for years and years and years. A really smart guy taught me that when I was coming up through the ranks many years ago. A guy by the name of Tom Murray. He was in the beer business.
Tom Murray.
Yeah. He had the Pabst Blue Ribbon Beer Distributorship in Springfield, Missouri.
Nice job.
He taught me that very simple process, but I've used it for over almost 50 years.
Wow.
And I can tell you, the only times that I have failed in my career was when I got greedy, or when I fell off that wagon and I decided that it wasn't that important anymore. But I always got back to center, and when you get back to center, things always get better again.
Okay.
You have to take care of your client, one way or the other, and you can't look at money. Money's not as important as making sure that the client is happy. That's a whole nother topic.
It is.
A whole nother day for a whole
another day.
Okay, so the other thing I want to throw into this conversation is monogamy. Why is it that monogamy is such a big deal? Why are we only supposed to have one mate? If you read in the Bible, didn't they have like 6 or 7?
Yeah, well, they always did. Yeah.
So what's the deal with that? How did all that turn?
Well, I think it goes to Puritan religious beliefs after the church separated.
What's the root of that belief?
The separation of church when the Catholic Church when the Lutheran movement started, is when this one wife, one man thing seemed to have started. Because even in the Old Testament, as you said,
Exactly.
there are lots of wives, and
Lots of wives.
and even there's some sicker stuff than that going on. But
Yeah, but my question is, what was the reason
The
to
impetus,
promote
yeah.
monogamy? Was
Got
it
me.
disease? Was it disease?
Might have been.
So that's what I'm wondering. And now we're living in a day and time where there's all kinds of medications to take care of all kinds of diseases. I'm not saying it's a good thing,
No.
but I'm just talking out loud. I'm just airing this out.
Well, you got to wonder also if it was a controlling social process in order to stop people from milling about and being with various other people. It created the family.
What's wrong about that?
What's wrong about that is we're not monogamous animals.
Well, that's my question. That's my point. What is it that drove this process of monogamy?
You got to wonder, and actually right now
I don't think men or women are made for monogamy.
No, they don't appear to be.
Okay, the 7-year itch, you ready for this? Studies. It's a real deal. After 7 years, your attraction for your mate begins to wane dramatically. That's why a lot of marriages end at
7 years. I've never had one last over 5, pal. But
how many times you've been married, by the way?
Twice.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've got friends who've been married 5 times.
Holy smokes!
It's like trading in a used car. Let's get another car. Let's trade this car.
But you get a new payment with every one of them.
Then why get married?
Well, why get married? Why?
You tell me.
Well, there's tax breaks.
Traditional, and I know there's a religious connotation.
Yeah, that seems to be the biggest thing.
That's what I'm thinking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Even in animals, they say that there's not a lot of some species. They say that
mate for life. They say.
Yeah.
But the lives are short, and they remate. I mean, other than mourning doves. They find another mate. Geese will find another mate after one dies.
So my read is that I think most women look for a man, look to find these qualities in a man: financial security and physical security.
Yeah.
If they can get that, I think they're pretty satisfied.
Yeah.
But if they can't get that, I think that probably the relationship's going to go south. Have you ever? How many times have you seen relationships where the guy can't support the family anymore? What happens?
Oh, she finds a BBD, the bigger, better deal. Every time.
Say that again, B?
The BBD, the bigger, better deal. It's not mine. But yeah, it's funny.
BBD. That's interesting. Oh my God. Here's something else. I've never heard that one before. So let's switch from husband and wife romantic relationships to something about friendships.
Okay.
Why do you think friendships fail so often? Like just non-romantic relationships.
I actually have an opinion on that.
What is your
Expectations. Having expectations of another sets you up for failure. If my expectation is of buddy Tim, that I took him fishing, so I want him to take me hunting, he doesn't necessarily know that, does he? And so then he disappoints me, and I don't say anything about it. I'm a little butthurt. And then it happens again, and it happens again, and then finally I blow up and say, "You're an asshole, Tim," and he doesn't even know why. He doesn't want nothing to do with me anymore.
So communication probably is a big
gigantic
to helping relationships stay on track.
Well, I would think so. Yeah.
And what is it about people that don't want to communicate with each other? What is it? Why are people afraid to tell the truth to each other?
Fear of rejection.
Rejection. So that's a big deal. That sounds interesting.
I think so.
So if you get it all on the table and you're not afraid of the outcome, don't you think that's the best way to handle things?
Wouldn't it be? I think it would be.
How about making a list of the things you don't like about your friend? And then say, "Hey, can we sit down and visit together?" And then you just go
before you have
their own list too. They may not have it written down. They're gonna have a list.
Well, I actually went through marriage counseling in my second marriage, and that was one of the things they had us write a list.
Is that right? I should have been a marriage counselor.
You should have been a counselor.
I probably would have got booted out a long time ago.
My marriage counselor was a Catholic nun, so she really was. Yeah,
that's interesting.
And she was really good. She was terrific. It's just that my partner at the time was mentally ill.
What about nuns and priests that aren't supposed to have sex, but they do have sex? How does that work?
Man, yeah, it's a can of worms right there.
What about the priests, and what about the homosexuality with little boys?
Yeah, well, the church covered homosexuality for so long.
How do they survive this?
Well, they've managed to.
How though? How is that even possible?
Great question. I don't know. Any other industry would have been shut down. The Boy Scouts got shut down.
So what is it about the priests and the little boys? Why does that happen?
Well, they were a safe haven for pedophiles.
Is that the bottom line?
Homosexual pedophiles.
Wow.
And
that's terrible.
It's kind of sad.
It can't be any more terrible than that.
And it makes people question religion. And I kind of feel like we're at a time on this planet where we should question religion. I'm not trying to be a heretic, but maybe we should rethink what we allow.
Religion. I mean, I have a personal relationship with my God.
As do I.
As long as you have that, you're okay.
But organized religion is what I'm talking about.
That's another topic for another day on another podcast.
Indeed. We're at 10 minutes, but let's roll.
Okay.
Let's roll.
Well, we're going to wrap things up pretty quick. So codependency, what is it about people that can't be alone?
Oh, man, isn't that something?
Why can't people just be happy with themselves? What is that all about?
I think it's kind of that attractive ego thing of that someone thinks I'm sexy. Someone wants to kiss me.
Now, who would think you're sexy?
No, man, no one at this point. I mean, look at these guys. I mean, what do you think? But I used to be. And I proved it with the arm candy I carried around. And I had relationships that were based on arm candy.
I understand.
And more of those than I had marriages.
I see.
But
so
I'm comfortable with myself now.
What is it about people that can't let go of a relationship? Why can't they let go?
Well, there is something I recently read because I'm helping someone else. There is an addictive aspect to, what was the word they used? Toxic people. Toxic people are addictive. Why?
I think addiction is a key word here. I think that the brain, from what I've studied, that it gets addicted to the person. And there's actually whatever it is in the brain, the dopamine that gets released or whatever when you're around somebody that you really like, and it just flows, so you get addicted to the person.
Cheryl, I just saw your 32 years, wouldn't trade a day, still in love 31 years. God bless you, honey. You are indeed. And how did you do it?
Good for you.
Yeah,
you should write a book about that.
Yeah, thanks, Cheryl, for sharing that.
Anyway, back to codependency, back to addiction. I think people need to break away from bad relationships, but you know what? They won't do it. And in the end, it destroys the person because, if somebody wants to be negative and have a negative life and you don't leave that person, you're going to get sucked right into. And you're going to lose yourself too.
Yeah.
And that's just no good. We can talk about that on a whole podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Spend the whole podcast just talking about how you have to get away from toxic relationships. Mm-hmm. But at any rate.
You know what might be fun? Cheryl kind of gave me this idea. Anybody interested in talking to Ron about your relationship, send us a little note on TikTok or on on YouTube, and we'll get to you. We'll get you online with us. So think about it.
Great. All right, guys. Well, we're going to wrap it up because I think I've made enough people mad today already.
I hope so. All right.
So we're going to end things, and just remember, until next time, stay positive.
Yes.
Okay.